Hey everybody, this is Dan coming at you with another video. And in this video, I hate to tell people I told you so. But I have to say, I told you so. Me and people like Rich, people like Brown Hornet, who have been calling the hypocrisy shown by this administration of one President Barack Obama. I told you guys. Now, many of you who've seen my previous videos in the past heard me speak out about how in the first 3 years of Barack Obama's administration, senior citizens who were on Social Security did not get a cost of living increase for the first 3 years of his presidency. And they only got a cost of living increase in his 4th year, and that was just to garner their votes. Now, I told you people to watch out for the boondaggle that was coming down the line. Now, what has happened lately? Barack Obama, once again, groundbreaking, following right after George Bush, when he implemented the National Defense Authorization Act, the first Democratic president to basically strip away and erode any sense of privacy that you thought you had. It was bad enough that moron George Bush did it under national security. And then Barack Obama, as soon as he got in there with all his banker friends, and let me tell you one thing. Contrary to popular belief, the bankers did not back John McCain when he ran against President Barack Obama. That's the only reason why Obama won, was because all the bankers backed him. And if you don't believe me, just do your research. I get tired of people coming up to me that are politically illiterate or commenting on my videos about how the big bankers only back the Republicans. That is the furthest thing from the truth that you ever want to imagine. Matter of fact, when John McCain ran against Barack Obama, they didn't even like John McCain, because John McCain, for all his idiocy and sometimes lunatic behavior, doesn't even like bankers. He doesn't get along with them. But if you go and do the research, you will find out that Barack Obama was anointed to run for the White House by bankers. You don't have to believe me. There's books written on this stuff. One of the books is called Bought and Paid For. Look it up online. I'll say it again. Bought and Paid For. Why do you think during his first administration, and even now, only thing he surrounds himself with is bankers? Either people that worked in the private sector, or worked at the Fed, or worked at the Fed and went to the private sector. Look at his new treasury now when they jack loose from Fed to private to Fed. What? Once again, Obama has become the first Democratic president to propose cuts in Social Security. Now, mind you, the Republicans have been trying to go after Social Security one way or the other for years. But this time around, we can't say that they proposed. This proposal for Social Security cuts is coming from the Obama administration. And who are the people that are going to be disproportionately affected by this? People who, first, don't own anything, don't save a lot of money during our lifetime, don't make a lot of money, which means that the Social Security that we receive will be drastically lower than the average person who is a top earner in their lifetime. And not because we don't want to earn, it's just a lot of times because we are so disenfranchised, we don't make that good money all our lives. So once we do retire, if the bankers had ripped off everything the way they did with the 401k and the pension plan, we have to rely on a little money to get by. But with this new changed CPI that Barack Obama is proposing, which is nothing but a cut to Social Security, And we can't sit back and say this time, oh man, let's listen to more bullshit ass Republicans. We can't say that this time. See, that excuse won't fly anymore. Now, what this grand proposal, this grand gesture is supposed to be about is he is giving them something for him to get something. Because, see, once again, they're trying to sell us this bullshit of taxing the rich and under the guise of trickle-down economics. Well, let me tell you something. He's proposing cuts to Social Security to get tax hikes on the wealthy. And what he wants to do is he wants to increase their income tax. Well, let me tell you what that's a big ruse. Let me tell you what that's fool's gold. And people like the average layman will buy it. They'll say, oh man, we'll accept Social Security cut because he's giving us something back. No, he's not giving you anything back. Because as we found out when Mitt Romney was running for the presidency, rich people make their money off of investments. Okay? And investments are taxed at a different rate. When you sell something, that's taxed at a different rate if you make a profit. It's called a capital gains tax. And there's two types of capital gains tax. There are short-term capital gains, which means you held on to something less than a year and then you sold it. And then there's long-term capital gains, which means if you bought a house in 2008 for $100,000 and you sold it 2 years later in 2010 for $150,000, okay, you are going to be taxed at the profit. So $50,000 of that money is going to be taxed under the long-term capital gain tax. If you would have bought that house in 2008 and sold it in 2008, you would be taxed at a higher rate, which is called a short-term capital gain. But we have to understand, people that are smart like Mitt Romney, who have millions and millions and millions of dollars, they don't make income. They don't work. They don't go to a 9 to 5 every day. They make all their money off of investment. So that's why I say he is going to hurt the poor under this guise, under this ruse of saying, well, I'm going to tax their income. Sure, you're going to get some rich people's income because some rich people do go to a 9 to 5 job now. Don't get me wrong with that. But for the majority of people, all their money is capital gains tax, which is a low rate, which he can't mess with that. So don't be fooled by this. This is fool's gold. Anyone knows, once you have a certain amount of money, you buy and you sell. Stocks, be it investments in vehicles, investments in homes, investments in gold, all this stuff is taxed with capital gain tax. Not the tax that Barack Obama is trying to sell you, talking about income tax. Working people make income tax, like me and you. We go to work, whatever we make on the job, that's income tax. The mega rich, they don't go to work every day. Do you think Bill Gates goes to work every day? Warren Buffett goes to work every day? No, they make money off investments. He's not taxing them, really. He's not calling for a tax on their income or increase on their taxes, because it's all investment. And once again, the poor black people who are living in the tenements, living in the high-rise, eating cat food already, basically, they're going to suffer while the rich remain rich, because they're not attacking the capital gain tax. And that's all I have to say on that. You can try and deconstruct it, you can try and spin it any way you want to, but please, make a video and prove me wrong. And not just in the confines of 400 characters in the comment section. That's just the way it is. Peace.